Good day, Doctor. We are from Group 6 and would like to present the moral judgments by every members based on the topic should the Malaysian government build out Sapura Energy. Good day, my name is Ong Wan Li, matric number 278045, and I would like to present my moral judgment on this issue. From my perspective, the government should not build up Sapura Energy. The reason for this is that any government action to assist Sapura Energy will likely weaken the company's determination to make difficult decisions and rarely brings value to taxpayers. Government-linked companies, GLCs, play an important part in the country's economic growth. However, the general public opinion of GLCs in Malaysia has been marred by poor management performance. Over the years, Malaysia has been seen multiple build-outs of failing government-linked companies. The ironic part is that even after 20 years, some companies, such as Malaysia Airlines, still need taxpayers' money to sustain. For example, Khazanah Nasional injected 3.6 billion in Malaysia Airlines in year 2021, and a total of 28 billion has been injected into Malaysia Airlines. On the other hand, Sapura has begun its asset sales process and entered into a memorandum of agreement with Safin Feeder Corporation, a company in the Abu Dhabi Ports Group of companies, for the disposal of its vessel known as Sapura 3000 for $71.5 million, approximately 312 million ringgit Malaysia on May this year. Obviously, Sapura Energy can recover itself by company-wide decision. The attempt to resolve Sapura Energy's financial issues need to be market-driven, with no funds coming from taxpayers or government organizations like Petronas. Only a capital market-driven approach would result in the company making a speedy turnaround and forcing shareholders to make difficult decisions. Sapura Energy should implement a variety of restructuring initiatives in order to recover and reclaim its financial positions without relying on the government bailout. My moral judgment is based on utilitarianism that is typically identified with the policy of maximizing the overall good. This is because the bailout will necessitate the government spending billions of people's monies to benefit a small group of elites, when the money might be better used assisting Malaysian companies and communities that are affected by the pandemic. One viewpoint under utilitarian thought points to Adam Smith's line of thinking suggests that free and competitive markets are the most effective method for achieving utilitarian goals. With this goal, the most effective way to achieve it is to restructure Sapura Energy according to free market capitalist principles. This implies that company managements aim to improve the profitability.
Good day, the doctor and everyone. My name is Oon Shuet Fen, matric number 278967, and I would like to give my opinion on this topic, which is should the Malaysian government build out Sapura Energy? And my opinion is I disagree with this. The reason why I would disagree is that building out Sapura Energy Berhad will encourage other businesses to keep being careless and not take responsibility for their bad performance. Therefore, I think the private sector should take the lead in saving Sapura Energy and make investment in it. It should not be saved with either public or government money. Just let the current creditors and stakeholders accept the lump sum instead, so that the new generation of them will be more financially responsible. Meanwhile, to determine the causes of the issue, a forensic examination should be conducted in the interim. And on the other hand, a numerous number of high-ranking management officers in the firm, particularly those who were foreigners, received pay and bonuses that were excessively costly and inappropriate. And at that time, Sapura Energy was losing billions of dollars already. I personally believe that using politics as a tactic to campaign for government funding to support parties is a bad thing to do from a moral perspective. Instead, the top oil and gas services provider in the nation needs to undergo a professional analysis. And another point is that any government assistance to Sapura Energy will just make the corporation less motivated to face difficult decisions. According to Sapura Energy's most recent annual report, it has assets worth 18.5 billion, of which 4.9 billion are intangible assets. This demonstrates that it possesses hard assets valued at almost 13 billion, including fabricating facilities, work accommodation ships, and remotely operated vehicles. Considering the current high crude oil prices, oil and gas companies are expanding their budgets to invest in oil and gas operations, such as exploration activities. Therefore, Sapura Energy can sell its assets to reduce its debt. For example, other businesses like Bumi Amanda Berhad have implemented this executive strategy to lower their debt. Therefore, utilitarian theory is the moral philosophy that supports my viewpoint on this matter. This theory is a form of utilitarianism because it is based on the notion that a laws, regulation, or other action result or effects determine whether it is positive or negative, correct and incorrect. Therefore, in the present situation, we should choose the method of action that will improve the greatest number of people. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning, doctor. My name is Chen Zhi Xuan, number metric 2791113. I will continue the part for moral judgment. In my opinion towards the issue of Sapura Energy, I agree that government should build out Sapura Energy. However, the government should let the market forces decide the company's fate. Population funds were more likely to be spent on projects that benefited the entire populations, especially the working class. Despite this, the government is considering transferring Sapura Energy's strategic investments or assets to Petroleum National Berhad in order to promote efficiency, accountability, integrity, and durability. So, why government should build up Sapura Energy? The former Prime Minister Dato Seri Najib Rajab suggested on Facebook that government protects Sapura Energy from bankruptcy by providing loans or allowing Petronas or Khazanah National Berhad to take over the group from Pemodoran National Berhad. This is because if Sapura Energy was not safe, the public would incur enormous losses, citing 4 ringgit billion in damage to PNB owned by Amanah Saham Bumiputera holders and 10 ringgit billion in losses to Malayan banking Berhad, as well as the loss of 10,000 jobs. Sapura Energy is in the midst of a huge debt restructuring involving banks, vendors, and contractors. Associate Professor Dato Ahmed Razam Abdul Latif, Business Development Manager at Putra Business School, agreed that reviving Sapura Energy should not include the use of public funds or government loans. However, because the National Oil Corporation still needs Sapura Energy services for its projects, the government may consider allowing Petronas to acquire Sapura Energy for strategic reasons. Petronas should not only build out Sapura if they have done their homework and the acquisitions will result in net positive value additions. Meanwhile, PNB's Sapura Energy exposure should not create alarm because it was minimal and had little impact on the fund's paid-out rate. Sapura Energy's stake represented less than 1% of PNB total assets under management. So, in this issue, it related to the ethical theories of utilitarianism, which is a moral philosophy that believes that if an activity benefits the majority of individuals in a community or organizations, it is right. People's money would be used to build up a government-linked firm in the case of Sapura Energy. Yet, building up Sapura Energy would also save nearly 10,000 jobs, which could have significant repercussions for the Malaysian population. It also brings huge impact to the Malayan banking Berhad, up to 10 ringgit billions of losses and about 4 billion ringgit in damage to PNB-owned Amanah Saham Bumiputera holders. So that's all for my part. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Li Wai Loo and my metric number is 279-475. Should the government bail out Sapura? In my opinion, yes. I think that the Malaysian government should help Sapura Energy out of the financial struggle, and it is because of the impact of the bankruptcy of Sapura Energy are significant and wide-ranging. Why did I say so? It is because Sapura Energy was one of the top 30 oil and gas services company in Malaysia, and not only the size of the company, but also the amount of debt its own is enough to cause a knock-on effect. If Sapura Energy goes bankrupt due to the insufficient financial situations, there will be more than 10 million people who hold a share of Amanah Saham Malaysia, struggling in the risk of losing 4 billion ringgit Malaysia in investment loss. The bankruptcy of Sapura Energy might affect around 1,000 job loss and 4,500 suppliers in the oil and gas industry will lose their businesses. In addition to this, Sapura Energy debt is incurred by 9 local banks and also owns around 3,000 merchants. On the other hand, the expectations of increasing price of oil have also brightened the future of the Sapura Energy. The U.S. Energy Information Administration predicts that the price of oil and gas will rise as global oil demand continues to increase. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak, it has impacted the oil price, but now as various countries are opening their borders, the oil demand will increase. Back to 2012, the mega merge of Sapura Crest Petroleum Berhad and Kencana Petroleum Berhad have plenty benefits, such as increasing the oil and gas productions. There is a huge potential for the Sapura Energy if it is developed properly. In short, the moral theory that supports my point of view is utilitarian. The actions of politicians made to Sapura Energy will influence a society with benefits. In this case, if the government buys Sapura Energy, there will be a significant effect on the local market and also increasing the amount of employment rate. The government should help the Sapura Energy with providing more investment fund. Yet Sapura Energy need to restructure its management team. Thank you.
Hello and a very good day to Doctor and everyone. My name is Ling Jit Min and my matrix number is 279549. Now I'm representing the moral judgment to the topic of should the Malaysian government bail out Sapura Energy. In my opinion, I disagree to the issue and I think that the government should not provide bailout to Sapura Energy and the attention should be paid to reduce losses and focus on the interest of the general public. In this session, I will explain the reason why I disagree to the issues. So in my personal moral decision, I will think that the Malaysian government should not provide a bailout for the Sapura Energy Berhad, since doing so will be using taxpayer money to bail out Sapura, which I think is very unfair. Oppositely, the Malaysian government should spending the money for the benefits of the public citizen. Even though Sapura Energy and their employees are facing a difficult time with an uncertain future, but I personally think that it is still unsuitable for the government of Malaysia to spend billions of ringgit on Sapura at the time when businesses and employees across the country are also facing their tough times. Despite that, there is also a company named Permodanan Nasional Berhad or PNB has already invested billions of ringgit in Sapura. And over the past 10 years, there are several financial institutions such as Maybank, Public Islamic Bank, RHB Islamic Bank has also provided Sapura Energy Berhad loans such as operational loans and working capital loans. But the Sapura Energy Berhad still continue to experience financial issues, even though at the time when the crude oil price are at its highest level. This has meant that Even if the government of Malaysia gave Sapura a bailout, they still require a lot of money to fix their financial problem. So the next part is regarding to the moral value or theories that support my decision on this issue. So in my opinion, the moral value or theories that support my decision on this issue is the utilitarianism. This theory is a type of consequentialism which defines as whatever that represents the most moral course of action will result in the greatest good for the greatest number of people. For example, Malaysia's government should utilize the money to provide the greatest benefits to the greatest number of public citizens, such as to use the money to build the expertise and skills of small entrepreneurs, youth, and provide education loans for college students. And according to the theories, if the government does not provide a bailout to Sapura Energy Berhad, despite spending the money for the benefits of the public citizen, then this is good if it results in the welfare of the greatest possible number of public citizens. And that's all for my part. Thank you.
Good day to Doctor and my fellow classmates. So my name is Ong Min and metric number 281672. So from the statement, should the Malaysian government bail out Sapura Energy? So in my opinion, I disagree with this statement because I believe Sapura Energy should be saved by the private sector instead of the Malaysian government, because the private sector have more financially stable and responsible compared to the Malaysian government. So in example, the private sector can make sure the Sapura Energy future model sales is successful, sustainable and better compared to Malaysian government. So from the example, we already witnesses an instance of poor government bailout. Many enterprises or which initially saved by the government from failure demanded additional government aid bailout and the consumption of public money. So among of these are the several examples: Malaysia Airlines, Pejawa Steel, and Bank Bumiputra. So in another example, Proton Holding is one of the advantage example. So after a few unsuccessful government investment, Proton is now becoming a successful business with the help of private sector, with the financial and management. So this emerged when China Greer Auto Groups invested and bought a 49.9% part of the company through 2017. From the government bailout hardly worked out, and judging by the multiple failed attempts, like from these few examples, Malaysia Airlines, Pejawa Steel, and Bank Bumiputra, so it will be hardly to be saved by the Malaysian government. So the moral theories that support my point of view is utilitarian theory. So according to this theory, activity that cause enjoyment or happiness are preferred above than those result in dissatisfied and pain. So this theory could aim to influence sociological and economic and political decisions, so in order to have a better society in the future. So based on this theory, from my opinion, whether spending a lot of money from the government to save Sapura Energy, why not using this money to help the poor citizen with low and poor income? So that's all from me. Thank you, and now I will pass it to the next speaker.